Hello everyone. In this video we're going to cover Hmong personal pronouns. It's a beginner level video, but at the end there are a few intermediate concepts, so if you know the personal pronouns you may want to just skip to the end. But either way there's quite a bit to be gained. The good news is that personal pronouns in Hmong are easy. They are different from English in a few different important ways, and we'll discuss that. But for the most part they're easy. One reason is they don't change form. There's a single word for I and for me, for we, for us, or also for he, she, it, all the same word for each one of those things separately. So let's jump right into some examples. So the first pronoun, the word for I or me, is go, go. In this sentence, the example is go mo la. Go mo la. I go already, or in English, I went. Next we have the pronoun for we or us, but only when referring to two people. So if there's three or more, it's a different word. So when it's just you and another person, you would say So in the sentence example, we see your mo. Your mo. We'll go. Now the same concept, we and us, but for three or more people. So whether it's 3, 10, 100, 1,000, you would use the word bay, bay. So in this sentence example, we have bay ji toa, bay ji toa. We're not coming. Okay, so that's for we or us, three or more people. So the word for you in Hmong is ga, ga. So we have our sentence example here. Ga xia heng. Ga xia heng. You are very tall. Now that's the word for you in Hmong. Now the word for you as in the two of you. So if you're referring to two people, they use the word ne, ne. As in our sentence example, ne mo kha tu. Ne mo kha tu. Where are you going? Okay, so that's for two people. Well, for three people, we have ne. So instead of a high tone, it's a falling tone. Ne. Our sentence example is ne or dachi. Ne or dachi. It may seem like a subtle difference between the two different words ne and ne, but the reality is they're two different words, and Hmong use them separately where they're appropriate. So when you're talking to two people, you can get away with ne with the falling tone nej like we're looking at now, but it's not correct and it's not a great idea or a good habit to get into. You should separate the two when you speak. So two people, ne, three or more, ne. That's for you. Okay, now we have he, him, she, her, or it. Or we could say it simply he, she, or it. They don't differentiate, so if you're talking about a person, a girl, a boy, a man, woman, or a thing, it uses the same word, nu, nu. So we have our sentence example here. Nu, na, ma. Nu, na, ma. He eats, she eats, it eats. So you could use it for animals too, just so you know. So same pattern. If you're referring to they, as in they, two people, a pair of people, husband and wife, two men, two women, whatever the case, there's two of them, you would use Nkawd, Nkawd. Some people use it with a V tone, Nkawd, but it's very similar. So our sentence example here is Nkawd ji bao, Nkawd ji bao. Okay, they don't know. And then finally, you should expect for three or more, The word for they for 3 or more is lỡ, lỡ. As in our sentence example here, lỡ chỉ no, lỡ chỉ no. They don't eat. So that pretty much covers the common basic personal pronouns in Hmong, but there's 2 special ones that we'll look at that are they are commonly used, but they're not used quite like one would use them in English or one would expect. So a little explanation is in order. So the first special pronoun we have is yus, you, you. It's used similar to the word one in English when we use one as a pronoun, like when one crosses the street, one should look where one is going. It's kind of an infinitive pronoun. It doesn't refer to a specific person. It's a way of being indirect. And Hmong use it that way too. So here we have a sentence example. You chỉ bao给, you chỉ cho mù. Again, you chỉ bao给, you chỉ cho mù. So if one doesn't know the way, one shouldn't go. Oftentimes, this will be used, this pronoun, personal pronoun will be used when instead of giving a direct command or criticism, it can be a way of softening a phrase. So instead of, if you don't know the way, you shouldn't go, that can be something very accusatory in Hmong. They would replace it with yus, you, and it makes it less offensive. Okay, so it is similar to the word one in English. You can use it more or less the same way. Next, there's a special pronoun. It can be used 2 different ways, loa or loa te. They're similar, they're not exactly the same, but they are quite close. So just to differentiate from the beginning, loa means others, as in other people. It can also be used poetically to refer to yourself. We'll talk about that after we go over the examples. But loa te is almost the identical meaning, but the word te at the end kind of gives it a sense of referring to various different groups. So people in general, but lots of different types of people perhaps. So there's a subtle difference there. So first let's look at this. Next let's look at the sentence examples. We have loa peng de gu, loa peng de gu. So others are always or are incessantly criticizing me, scolding me. So that could refer to just, it's not direct, it's other people in general. Okay, next, yua chu ba loa te, yua chu ba loa te. So between these 2 sentences, you can see loa and loa te are used almost identically, but loa te in the second example, it kind of gives a sense of just others in general, all different people. Whereas maybe in the first one, it could be other people in the village, like a smaller group of people, specific, but not naming their names. Just as an interesting tidbit, sometimes loa can be used to refer to oneself. In very limited cases, I read a story where a husband and wife's daughter was eaten by a tiger, and when they referred to how their daughter, the 2 of them, themselves were lost their daughter, they refer to themselves as loa, because so it doesn't sound so harsh. It's already such a sad situation, but those usages are very rare. So loa in general means other people. Okay, one last thought that can be a little bit confusing. It involves personal pronouns is a pronoun usage. To do something oneself. There's kind of a colloquial way of saying things, a shortened way that is very natural and common in Hmong, but can be kind of confusing if you're looking at it from an English language perspective. Okay, so first sentence, gu or gu, I do I. What that really means is I did it myself. So instead of using the word for myself, which they do have, gu tu king, gu or gu tu king, the more common way of saying it is just gu or gu. And you can use that with all sorts of things. So the next sentence example, Nkawd. It doesn't mean that she studies herself or she's on a journey of self-discovery, but it means she learned it on her own. She studied it herself, as in no one taught her. So Nkawd. Okay, so that wraps up personal pronouns in Hmong. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment in the comments section, subscribe to the channel, or perhaps consider supporting me on Ko-fi. And in any case, I'll see you in the next video.